What's up, everyone? It's Caddy with MoneyVest Real Estate, and just wanted to give you guys an update on where I'm at with the process of investing in real estate here in Dubai. And this is just gonna be a one-on-one conversation with all of you because I've learned a lot. Honestly, like since my last update, I've been spending a lot of time on kind of learning about the different dynamics and different variables at play when it comes to real estate here in Dubai. And quite honestly, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things for me to cover in one video because I feel like I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours because there's just too many things. And so I figured I'd do just one simple video talking to you like my friend and kind of discuss and really let my thoughts out because there's been some uncertainties, there's been some questions, there's been some dilemmas, and there's been some I would say confusion with respect to the Dubai market because of how different it is compared to real estate in the US. Because I've kind of grown up looking at my uncles and looking at my family members, kind of investing in real estate in the US. And of course, we have a lot of people within our community, within our actual MoneyVest community, that are investing in the US. So want to bounce ideas off of all of you as well, because if you've been investing in the US market, you will be able to give insight on the US market, and I'll be able to share some of my insights over in Dubai. Okay, so let's just talk about this one specific deal that I was looking at. I'm still actually in the middle of those negotiations. It's in Arjan. So it is not in central Dubai. It is not in downtown Dubai or in Business Bay, which is where the Burj Khalifa and the Dubai Mall is. But it's a little bit outside of those areas. And remember in my previous videos, I mentioned JVC, the Jumeirah Village Circle, as being a very, very prominent area because there's a lot of people who want to live there. The rental yields are really high. And at the same time, property prices are somewhat reasonably low compared to living right in downtown and Business Bay or in near Dubai Mall or Burj Khalifa, because prices are really high and the rental yields basically do not compensate for those higher prices. So there's Arjan. Arjan is another area which is right next to JVC, so it kind of falls in the same proximity, same vicinity of those two areas. So there's basically three areas that are kind of like in a very similar proximity. There's JVT, that's the Jumeirah Village Triangle. There's JVC, that's the Jumeirah Village Circle, and there's Arjan. You know what? Let me just go over the chart just so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So we'll just go over that here just to show all of you where exactly those areas are, because geography is really, really important of course, in investing. So location, as I said, is very important. So this right here, the triangle that you see, just running across, just follow my cursor. So there's a straight line. That's the Orchid Street. Then you come down, and then you go all the way across. So that right there is a triangle, right? That is the Jumeirah Village Triangle. There's one more place where we can look at this. So let me just go over this. There we go. This is a much better map. So JVT, that's the Jumeirah Village Triangle. We've got Jumeirah Village Circle, which actually looks like JV's, like actual circle, right? And then you've got Al Barsha. Al Barsha has like four different sort of categories. Al Barsha 1, 2, 3, 4, and Al Barsha South, which is over here. This is Arjan. Now, the deal or the property that I'm looking at is in Arjan. It's a little bit closer to here. Al Barsha South and Arjan. It's right over there. Very similar to, again, JVT, JVC, like in the proximity of these all areas. Now, this is where your downtown Dubai and Business Bay is, right? This is the Burj Khalifa and the Dubai Mall and the financial center, so DIFC. We've got the Jumeirah over here, City Walk, and then the Palm Jumeirah is over there. So if you're looking at Arjan, so you can see it's like a 25 minute drive to downtown, and it's about a 15 to 20 minute drive to the Palm Jumeirah, right? And this is what a lot of people prefer, right? This is a very, very well-developed area, especially JVC. JVC is a very, very well-developed area. And for that reason, people prefer to live here. People, especially who are working, right? Working individuals, professionals, like to live here because rentals are still reasonably low compared to if you were living in, let's say, Business Bay or if you were living in downtown. So they're still reasonably low compared to the downtown area. And it's still developed. And it's only a 20-25 minute drive, right? So most people drive in Dubai. So even if you are, let's say, working in DIFC, it's a 20-minute drive for you. You can live outside the city, pay lower rents, save that money, and still be able to drive to work every day without any problems. So that's kind of like the mindset that people have. Now, there's a lot of issues and a lot of problems with that, because there's a significant amount of rental migration that happens in Dubai. And by what I mean by rental migration is if people are getting a better deal, and if they're getting a better sort of community and better facilities, better amenities, they will move out, right? Because the problem, it's kind of like a good thing that everything is within 1 hour drivable distance in Dubai. So like, for example, if you wanted to go from Bur Dubai to Al Farjan, you can probably get there in an hour depending on traffic. But everything is within a 1 hour drivable distance. I would say most places that people want to go to are even within 30 minutes of drivable distance, right? So I live in Mirdif, which is not in this map. So I'm all the way down here, right? I'm in Mirdif because it's close to the airport. As you can see, DXB airport is right over there. So I'm very close to the airport. And if I want to get to downtown Dubai and Business Bay, it's a very simple drive for me. It's like a 20-25 minute, max 30 minutes. If there's too much traffic, it may take me up to 45 minutes, but it is still close. If I want to go to Palm Jumeirah, that takes me a little bit longer. It takes me like closer to 40-45 minutes, right? So that is probably a very, very long distance for me from Palm Jumeirah to Mirdif. It takes me under an hour depending on traffic. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that everything is within an hour of drivable distance, right? It's not like New Hampshire or Massachusetts where, people are like 2 hours or 3 hours away from different cities and different communities. And the point that I'm trying to make here is that let's just take Rochester, New Hampshire, for example, right? If somebody buys an investment property in Rochester, New Hampshire, they've got that stability when it comes to rents, because people who are in Rochester, working in Rochester, are going to rent in Rochester. That's not the case in Dubai, because if you are, let's say, buying a property in JVC, right, you're going to probably get tenants from all over Dubai. Like, you're going to get people, let's say, that are working in downtown Dubai or in Business Bay or in Financial Center or all over the place, right? Because JVC, again, is within 15 to 20 minute drivable distance to everywhere, right? Because it's so centrally and nicely located that you're going to get people that are working everywhere. So the current tenant that's actually in Arjan that I'm looking at, the deal that I'm looking at, actually works in Dubai Hills Estate, right? So it's a pretty close by place. That's why she's renting there in Arjan, because she's close to work. But there is a lot of rental migration. So forecasting rents and predicting what the future rents will be is very, very uncertain. That's a big problem because there's a lot of rental migration. What I mean by that is if Arjan rents start going up, people can simply move to JVC. If JVC rents are higher, they can move to JVT. If JVT rents are higher, they can move to Al Farjan. If Al Farjan rates are higher, they can move to the Media City. If Media City rates are higher, they can move to Al Barshabak. Like, that's what I'm trying to say, is that people move from one place to another because there's so much rental migration, because rents keep going up and down and they're so cyclical. There's very, very much of a lack of stability when it comes to future rents. So that's problem number one, right? Rental instability or uncertainty with respect to where rents are going in the future. That's number one. Number two is property prices. So one of the things that I've learned, and I've done a lot of extensive analysis, and DXB Interact is actually one of the best softwares that I've used to better understand what the transactional history is for any property. Now, to give you a simple example, so this is the Dubai Marina, right? So we come over here. We're looking at Marina. Let's just go over to Marina Diamond, right? Marina Diamond is one of the properties that I was looking at earlier with one of my members, because we were looking at, Dubai real estate market together. And what you'll notice here is actually quite interesting. So Marina Diamond, this is in Dubai Marina. And to kid you not, let me just open up maps on Google, and I'll show you the location of Marina Diamond, right? The building that we're going to analyze together. So Marina Diamond 1, let's just go over that. So this is Marina Diamond, okay? And believe it or not, I mean, it's right next to the metro station. So we've got a Shoba Realty metro station, as you can see, right? That's the red line. So this is the Dubai Marina, which is a very, very sought after place. It's a very, very popular place in Dubai, right by Palm Jumeirah. So you can kind of see the location. I want to give you a little bit of a sense of the location of this property, right? So we got the metro station, we got the Dubai Marina. We're right next to the Palm Jumeirah. There's a lot of bars and a lot of cafes and a lot of restaurants and a lot of, hospitals and schools and everything. Like, it's like literally in the prime location of Dubai, like where everybody would want to be if they're looking at Palm Jumeirah type vibe. It's not downtown, it's not Business Bay, but it is still equivalent to being in a very, very good locality. Now, if you go over to Marina Diamond here, like I've already typed in Marina Diamond, we're going to go just analyze Marina Diamond, any tower. Let's just go to 2 and look at search. Now we're going to do 3 years, okay? And I want to just go over some of the transactional history for these properties. This is a very, very old building, right? So let me see if I can show you what that building is. Let's see, Marina Diamond 2. Let's take a look. So this is a little bit different, but this is it, right? This is the building. We can take a look at some pictures right now. Marina Diamond 2. I actually looked at a property in this place not too long ago, but this is the building. Very, very old building. I think it was built in 2010, 2008, might even be older. But I'm trying to give you a sense of where this building is located, where the apartment units are. Locality-wise, absolutely optimal. But let's come over to the transaction history. So it looks like this 2-bedroom apartment in Marina Diamond 2, apartment number 112, was sold or has transacted 5 times. 5 times, right? Let's just go over the details. Here's my problem with Dubai. So if you come over here, sold for 1 million. If you come down to the transactional history, August 2008, right? 600,000, 670, 800, 800, and then finally up to 1 million. So that is pretty reasonable gain, right? That's not 100%. That's close to, I think, 60, 70%. That's good. Let's just come over to a few more. 4 times transacted, 715,000, 1-bedroom apartment in Marina Diamond 2. Come down. Let's take a look at transactional history. 417, 820, 885 in 2014. So think about this. 2014, this apartment was sold for 820,000. 10 years later, it is selling for 715,000, right? 10 years later, it's actually selling for a lower price than what the buyer in 2014 paid for it. And that is after being in such an amazing locality. And this is just tip of the iceberg from all I've analyzed. So let's just take a look at this. 3 times, 2-bedroom apartment, 1.2 million is what it was sold for. And this is a transaction from October 4th, 2023. So fairly recent, right? So just we're going back 6-7 months. Now, if you take a look at 2021, 750,000, now close to 1 million. So that's still pretty reasonable. 2 years, not bad. If you come down, this is going to be a good example. A studio, 4 times transacted, 610,000 is what it was sold for. And this is from July of 2023, 610,000, 1 studio. If you come down, 2017. So 2017, 675,000, now sold for 610, 6 years later. 6 years. 6 years, and it's gone from 675 down to 610. And like I said, there's some examples might be, okay, there is some price appreciation. Some might be that there's significant amount of depreciation. So for example, another 1-bedroom apartment in Marina Diamond 2, 4 transactions that have happened, sold for almost 600,000. This is March of 2023, so just about a year ago. And look at the transactional history here. Look at this. Developers sold it in 2009 for 409,000. And then in 2023, it's just under 600. That is like, what, 14 years we're talking? 14 years? 14 years, and it's gone up, just, I would say, about 50%. Which, again, is not a bad return in terms of capital appreciation. But it's a hit or miss is what I'm trying to tell you. It's a very much of a hit or miss. So if you take a look at this one, 2-bedroom apartment, you look at the transactional history. So this is January of 2023, 778. Come down a little bit, and there we go. August of 2014, 1.2 million, and then 2023, 778. That's 9 years. 9 years, and this apartment has gone down by 30%. 9 years, and you're getting a 30% depreciation on the property by being in such an amazing locality as well. This right here, 6 times this is transacted. Let's take a quick look. So we're looking at, again, 1-bedroom apartment. This was sold in May for 850,000. If you come down, take a look. There we go. Developer, actually individual, sold it for 1 million back in 2008. Then it dropped by 500 to 550,000. Then increased to 740. Then 590. Then 850. I mean, this is just so much volatility in price that it's selling for, right? I mean, and again, just from 2008 to 2023, that's 15 years. 15 years, it's gone from $1 million to 850, right? So price appreciation, is quite uncertain. Now, one thing that I've learned in from all my analysis and research is that it also depends on the developer. It depends on the developer, it depends on the management of the company, and it depends on the community where that is being built. Location, as we discussed, is already, of course, very important. But if you look at the top developers, the price appreciation and the stability of price increases is much better than if you look at some of the lesser known, unknown developers. So if you go with Emaar, let's say Emaar or Shobha or Nakheel or Ellington or Bengati, like some of the top prime, like premium developers, especially Emaar, because Emaar and Bengati and a lot of these actually have their own management companies. They have their own management in-house. They essentially appoint a management association that's taking care of the building every year, that's taking care of the common areas, the amenities, and keeping up with the upkeep of the overall building. With the lesser known developers that don't really care, they're going to pass it on to a third party, and that third party management company may or may not take care of the building, and that building starts to wear down. And as newer and nicer buildings are coming around the block, then that older building value doesn't hold up very well because it's all old amenities, old common areas, everything's old in that building because it wasn't really taken care of, and that property prices go down. So that's the biggest sort of concern I've had and I've learned is capital appreciation in Dubai is very much tied towards the developer. It's very much tied towards the management of the company, the property upkeep. Everything is like super important. So it's really, really important you do your due diligence in kind of understanding, okay, what developer, what management company, what's the service upkeep history, like service charges that you're paying for owning a property in Dubai, like where are the funds going, what are they being used on, and especially rental migrations. There's a lot of different things and a lot of variables. And like I said, I could go for hours and hours because there's a lot of different things and a lot of variables at play here. Also because there's a lot of supply coming into the market as well, right? Last year, Dubai delivered over 30,000 units. This year, also on track to delivering over 30,000 units. So there's a lot of supply hitting the market. And it's kind of funny that, in other real estate markets, if there is, let's say, more development and more construction happening, real estate prices go up, together because there's, development and construction and infrastructure being built. In Dubai, it's kind of different is what I've felt because if a nicer, newer building is being built, then the older ones, people move out of the older ones to the nicer, newer ones for rents. Things would be different if there was an over demand and shortage of supply problem. But even that, I think there's a different discussion to be had because I know there's a lot of, studies being done that there's over 50,000 people entering Dubai and only 30,000 units being delivered. But there is some caveats to that statistics as well. But that's going to be it for today. Again, hope you all enjoyed this video. Again, I'm going to be sharing all parts of my journey, my entire thought process, and what I'm actually thinking about when it comes to real estate. So again, hope you all enjoyed it, found it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And again, more updates on Dubai real estate coming shortly. Happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.